So, Dungeon Masters, who are they? The simple answer is just another player behind the gaming table. Anybody could be a DM, but you have to realize what you're signing up to. So, let's talk about a role of Dungeon Master and hopefully help you avoid some rookie mistakes. Once you take on the mantle of DM, you become a motif of fun of sorts. Well, more like of satisfaction. Role-playing games are not just about wacky hijinks. You could tell quite an emotional and engaging story that leaves your players in tears. I mean, just watch a couple of last episodes of the first Critical Role campaign. Some heavy stuff. Before drawing maps and writing stat blocks for monsters, you have to understand there is no one best way to run a game. Find your style. I have been playing as well as dungeon mastering, and everybody got their own style of running the game. Some dungeon masters prefer more sandbox style, while others prefer a more prominent storyline, but all of them were exciting and a joy to play in. There are a lot of nuance and variants of how you can play. Do you use maps or rely on theater of the mind? Do you feature logic puzzles that your players have to solve instead of characters? How rule strict are you? Do you like to alter rules so they fit your game or stick with published rule sets? Do you expect your players to be familiar or know the rules by heart? And here we are approaching the most important part of the whole thing, the players. They, in a sense, will dictate majority of decisions. You could be the best dungeon master in the world, but if players who are sitting right now behind the table don't enjoy your style, it's irrelevant if you're the greatest dungeon master ever. So try to understand and find out what excites your players. My golden rule is, if something works for my players, then it's fine. Remember to have fun and enjoy the game yourself. Don't be afraid to show it. Your enthusiasm will transfer to other participants. Fun is important here because it shields you from a dangerous mindset of players owning you something, that you are sacrificing your enjoyment so that they can have their fun. That mindset could lead to resentment of players, making your experience an awful one. Nobody wants that. However, you will run into problems, and they are numerous. You need to be prepared to deal with them. Rules arguments are the easiest of them all. Usually, you can find a consensus or look up the correct ruling later. Don't get bogged down during session. The hardest problems will be situations when people start having problems with each other. Do you let them talk it out on their own, or talk with one of them in private? Or both? The answer is always, it depends on the situation. But you want to be ready and not be blindsided by such an occurrence. However hard it could be, you have to resolve it somehow, and not let it simmer. I had an experience when my almost 2-year campaign was cut short. One of the core players left the game because of the conflict with another player that was brewing for at least 3 months. The consequence of my inaction was, well, my campaign blew up. In the end, remember, it's just a game. And though you have some authority behind the table, don't let it get up in your head. As long as we are talking about mindsets, finding your groove and creating your workflow is as important as trying something new to improve gaming experience for everybody. Be it buying spare dice, custom apps you printed out or drew, audio recordings for audio logs or ambient sounds, and so on. Notice how they are more infrastructure to facilitate play. Little things, quality of life style improvements. I mean, we used coins and Warhammer 40k figures until I bought some ambiguous markers from my local gaming store. Use your skills you already have and try to implement them in-game. As an example, I use Rhinoceros, a 3D editing software, to draft my maps. Just because I'm familiar with the software. Now, something important. Don't overwhelm yourself. Burnout is a very real thing in dungeon mastering community, so try to pace yourself. Going all out preparing for one session and then lacking motivation for next is just not sustainable in the long run. Bad sessions will happen, and you will want to stop campaigning because you feel that you fucked up or your players are acting shitty. Try working through it, find solutions, and keep going. Role-playing games have the ability to create amazing moments out of nowhere that you will remember for years to come. That is worth enduring an occasional bad moment. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction to the role of the Dungeon Master. I will be going into details in my future videos, all for the goal of growing as a Dungeon Master myself and helping you grow along. As tradition around here, please subscribe and like this video, good luck with your roles, and see you in the next video.